The Toronto Raptors are currently in the rebuilding phase just 2 years after the franchise won their very first NBA championship. A lot had happened along the way to get where they are at now. However, the current situation that this team finds themselves in is very, very promising. We've seen a lot of talent leave this team, but with those departures came arrivals and opportunities for the younger guys to finally get their shots on the court. Nothing is given but only earned for these players, but what they've earned is a chance to build a young, talented roster from the ground up. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining exactly how this young Toronto Raptors core is going to contend for many titles just a few years down the line. Just before we get into this video, I just wanted to mention, as always, that I appreciate all of the support that I have gotten recently that has allowed me to grow these past couple of weeks. And if you do enjoy this type of content and the Raptors content that I've been putting out in general, please leave a like and even hit that subscribe button, as it helps me out a ton and allows this channel to grow so I can continue to create videos like this. Now, back to the video. The core of players that I will be referring to in this video will be a group of 7 players that I believe the Raptors are going to be keeping over the next 5 or so years in order to build a championship roster. The average age of this core is just 23.4 years old, which is incredibly young, and the players that make up the core are Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Trent Jr, Malachi Flynn, Precious Achiuwa, and Scottie Barnes. Delano Banton and David Johnson will be honorable mentions, as they were just second round picks this year and they are more of wildcards when it comes to their ceilings. Of the 7 players a part of this core, I do have confidence that they will stick together for a long period of time to allow them to properly develop as a unit, because of the fact that we have Masai Ujiri as our general manager. And with that time spent together, we are gonna see the largest of strides from these players. Starting with the oldest lasting members of this young core that are still with the team in Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet. Siakam alongside Fred VanVleet need little introduction, as they have already solidified their names in the NBA, but I will still give you a rundown of what they still have yet to accomplish during their prime years with the team. As many of you know, Siakam and VanVleet both played pivotal roles in the 2019 championship run, and what came out of that was 2 very polished veteran players to help assist the younger guys on this team. The last 2 NBA seasons showed us that Siakam clearly is the best player on this team. However, he may not be capable to be the #1 guy on a championship roster. Although his numbers are very decent, they just aren't enough in today's NBA to truly be the superstar that is needed in order to win. This is something that the Raptors most likely won't have to rely on him to be, because of their other potential young promising stars, including their young stud drafted 4th overall in the 2021 NBA draft. The hopes of drafting a player in the top 5 are that he has the potential to be a superstar, and like I mentioned in my previous video about Scottie Barnes, I believe he can be just that. Nevertheless, Siakam is still an all-star caliber player that still has many years till he reaches his peak and begins to decline, and can still be one of the league's best when it comes to being a second option on a team. On top of that, he is going to play a massive role in the development of the younger guys like Achiuwa and Barnes, as they have very similar builds and similar abilities they need to develop, playing a similar position as Siakam. Moving on to Fred VanVleet, Fred is truly emerging as one of the Toronto Raptors stars on this team as he continues to develop. His confidence on the floor as both a player and a leader is showing amazing strides, and it almost looks as if this is starting to become his team. He is on the bubble of being an all-star and plays a veteran role in the locker room of both being undrafted and being the Raptors franchise leader of points scored in a game that allows for so many players to look look up to him and follow his lead. He may not be the best player on the team, but his numbers show that he's still a very solid point guard, and he is only 27 years old. We could also see a massive jump in his numbers, as this season is the first where he will be the #1 point guard on this team with the departure of Kyle Lowry. As Siakam and Vanvleet are the oldest players of this young Raptors core, both at 27 years old, they are the leaders of this core at the moment and will be the ones to help out the growth of all the younger guys. Next, we have OG Anunoby. OG is a very interesting prospect on this team, as he is just 24 years old, who has also already seen massive strides on this team. It has felt like OG has been on the brink of breaking out to truly be a star on this team, and there are many people who are closely tied to the Raptors organization who believe this year will be his year. I will make a video to go more in depth on this topic. However, if you look at his numbers and how the improvement of his game has occurred over his career, there is plenty to get excited about. Simply looking at his growth from his rookie season to last season, there is so much to gauge on how well he has developed over the years. He went from averaging 5.9 points to an impressive 15.9, went from 0.7 steals to 1.5 a game, he doubled the number of rebounds he grabbed, and improved his free throw percentage by 15%, all from just playing 13 more minutes a game. What is so awesome about OG's development is the fact that he's already played 4 seasons in the NBA and is still only 24 years old. He still has so much basketball left even before he enters his prime, and he definitely has a very bright future ahead of him. OG is already known for being one of the league's top 3-and-D type players, and it's going to see him and this lineup grow defensively as a unit with their size and athleticism. Moving on to Gary Trent Jr., the man we acquired in the trade for Norman Powell. Gary has already become a fan favorite in his very short time with the team because he has shown so much love to this organization and their fans, and this is even before he's played an NBA game in Toronto, as he's going to love the city even more once he gets here. Gary Trent Jr. is just 22 years old, and he will be the team's starting shooting guard if everything goes to plan. Personally, I think Gary Trent is often flown under the radar when it comes to talking about this Raptors core, but the fact that he's just 22 is absurd, as he has shown plenty of upside in his short time with the club. With the Raptors, Gary was able to average 16.2 points per game, 1.1 steals, and 3.6 rebounds while shooting over 80% from the free throw line. Obviously, his field goal and 3-point percentages need to improve on this team, but once again, he is just 22 years old and will have plenty of time to become more efficient on the court. Next, we have the newly acquired Precious Achiuwa. Precious is a 21-year-old that was recently acquired from the Miami Heat in the trade for Kyle Lowry. I have previously mentioned his potential in a previous video, however, I will still give an overview of his potential and how he is a vital player on this Raptors team. Precious Achiuwa did not have the greatest rookie season in Miami, however, he is built almost exactly like Pascal Siakam, plays a very similar game to him, and now has him as a mentor that is going to lay out the framework from day one as he joins this team. Precious was a former 5-star recruit going into Memphis and is going to be in a development situation with the Raptors that was very similar to that of Pascal Siakam, which means the team already knows how to handle the young forward, plus he has a fantastic mentor in Pascal Siakam, as he has already been through the process on his own. And now finally, we have the Raptors' first-round picks from the last 2 years who will be added to this list in Malachi Flynn, and my personal favorite is Scottie Barnes. Malachi did not show a whole lot during last regular season, and it was understandably so, as he was the 3rd-string point guard on this team and also just a late first-round rookie. Nonetheless, he did begin to increase his confidence late in the season and also showed so many strides in the NBA Summer League. showing he was much better than his competition. Malachi still needs to develop his game tremendously, but again, he is very young and his role on this team is only to be a backup point guard, and that is what I believe he is fully capable of doing this season. He will be given plenty of time to develop, and this is a great thing as he is only 22 years of age as well. On top of this, his play style similarly resembles that of Kyle Lowry and Vanvleet in the sense of his very gritty play that displays plenty of hustle and heart at all times while he's on the court. Since he had those guys on the team with similar games as him, it will definitely help his development and preparation of how to attack each day in the NBA. And now, to finish everything off, we have the infamous Scottie Barnes. I talked about Scottie in one of my previous videos that actually received so much love, so if you want to check that video out, it will be in the description, but I will just quickly go over his analysis. Scottie looks to be the future of this team as he is a player that can play practically every position, is insanely athletic, and has an NBA frame that is truly set up for success. He is most definitely the key to this team's potential, and the coaching staff can have a ton of fun creating lineups with this positionless talent. He has everything you want on the playmaking side of the ball, as well as being a defensive monster, and honestly, the only problem he really has is his three-point shooting ability that the Raptors are very comfortable with developing, as they have done it to many players many times before. Scottie may be decently raw in terms of talent for being a 4th overall pick, but that's exactly what the Raptors knew they were getting out of Barnes, as they don't need him to be that guy for this team for the next couple of years, giving him an ample of time to improve. Now, with all of that being said, the Toronto Raptors have a very bright future ahead of themselves and a very strong coaching staff that has already won an NBA title to guide them. The average age of this core is just 23.4 years old, which shows just how long of a time this group has until they will be entering their primes together. They have the potential to win many rings alongside each other if this team sticks together and stays healthy. As a unit, this team will definitely one day rank up as one of the best defensive units with the size and athleticism they can display on the court, which is definitely something that I'm looking forward to. Now, with all of that being said, only time will tell if these young promising players will pan out to be what's expected of them, but Masai Ujiri and the Raptors definitely did a great job ensuring the Raptors' future is looking good. Please let me know what you guys think of this young Toronto Raptors core, and write down in the comment section below how many years do you think it's going to take in order for this team to start contending for championships. That is all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the Raptors content that I've been putting out. Thank you all and have a great night.